nulhkay Xwech'ta, a Squamish legend that was told to our elders and has been passed on to us. Not to quaint. Long ago, in the big village of Squamish, there was a young man named Xwech'ta. He had just been married and was living in his father's longhouse. Near the village of Squamish was a huge two-headed serpent that was named nulhkay. Its loud and frightening sounds were often heard as it went among the lakes and rivers close by. One morning, the people of the village heard it as it was coming down the mountain across from them. As it went, it shrieked and moaned, coming closer and closer.
When it came to the flatland, it slithered into the Squamish River, then swam across. The people of the village were very frightened, but it wasn't long when the people saw it climbed up the mountain. Its cries became fainter and fainter, then at last dying away.
Xwech'ta's father knew that only his son would gain the strength to kill the terrible beast. That even though Xwech'ta had just married his father, knew that he must wake him up to send him on his way to go look for the serpent, then to kill it.
Xwech'ta was asleep with his new wife on their bulrush sleeping mat. His father called out to him, but he did not move. After the long proposal ritual and the feasting, he was very exhausted.
His father called him, then called him again, but he didn't get an answer. Then he took a container of water and he spilt it on his son. Xwech'ta sat up suddenly as his father said to him.
Xwech'ta felt ashamed as his wife was listening, but he could not say anything back to his father. He made a hole in the mat to let the water drain through, then kissed his wife goodbye. He told his wife that he would return soon as he killed nulhkay, and then he told his wife to not get tired to wait for him.
Xwech'ta left following the serpent, and when he got to where it had passed along, he felt strange, as if he was having convulsions. He came to a creek where he began bathing to cleanse himself, and when he was done bathing, then he dried himself off with hemlock boughs.
Day after day, as he followed the serpent, he continued the bathing to cleanse himself. But every time he came close to it again, he still felt strange. Xwech'ta continued, and this was cleansing himself as he followed the serpent till the day he would come, and when he could get close enough to kill nulhkay.
One day, Xwech'ta was watching nulhkay was swimming across the lake, but it couldn't submerge. Its whole body was in the water. When one head was submerged underwater, then the other was looking around, searching for Xwech'ta. It had no way to get close. The serpent was farther away than Xwech'ta, continuing to follow it.
After crossing many lakes, nulhkay came to a long lake in which to submerge its whole body and two heads. Resting nearby, day after day, Xwech'ta continued bathing to cleanse himself. When a year passed this way, Xwech'ta had a very special dream. In his dream, a young woman wearing white appeared to him. She said to him,
Go find some pits that you can make into 4 sharp little points like spears. The next day, Xwech'ta collected the pitch, as he was told to do. Every day he continued bathing to cleanse himself. One night, the young woman appeared in his dream and said to him, Xwech'ta, make a raft. My head will come up to the surface and will be able to pack my my head appears. You can spear it with the pit spears you will made. Then paddle quickly to the far end of the lake. My other head will come to the surface. Then you can spear it with the remaining 2 spears you have. When Xwech'ta awoke, he walked until he came to a long lake, just like he had been told. He made a raft and then he waited. Suddenly, a serpent raised one of its ugly heads to the surface.
Xwech'ta was ready. He threw the spears as hard as he could. nulhkay was hit, one in its ear. Then he quickly paddled to the far end of the lake. He was just arriving. As the remaining head surfaced, he then threw immediately the 2 remaining spears he was holding.
He got nulhkay just like he had with the first 2 spears. Then Xwech'ta fainted and fell overboard into the water. When he came to, he saw that the water had risen so high that he was now high up on the mountainside. Then slowly the water dried up until all of the lake was dried up. Then on the bottom of the lake lay the body of nulhkay.
Dried up there on the bottom of the lake laid the body of nulhkay. Xwech'ta waited there, continue his cleansing. It wasn't long till all of the remained. There were the bone of nulhkay lying there.
Following the advice of a third dream, Xwech'ta then went down to look for a very special bone. Taking this bone, he would be able to feed all of the people. But when he got a hold of the bone, he immediately fainted. And when he awoke, he crossed a mountain towards the head of the Squamish River. Then when he saw that he was getting close, he saw a herd of mountain goats. As he approached, they didn't run from him, but just stood, looking at him. At the same time, he waved his helper, the bone club, and immediately they fell. He took the ones that he wanted, and those he didn't, he revived, so they went on their way. He made his way down the Squamish River, stopping at every village along the way. Finally, after a 4-year-long journey, he got back to his village in Squamish. So ends the story of nulhkay and Xwech'ta.